All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is October 22nd. Ah, a beautiful, brisk morning here in Philadelphia, PA. Got the birds chirping. I actually fed the birds. That was cool. Let's get our little stretch on. We have our drinks. We have our setups. We are good. Good morning. If you're tuning in, please give the video a like. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm really trying to grow the channel. In the meantime, let's make this money. Yesterday was a very interesting day. Now, if you don't usually watch the stock market, when you learn like, the candles and the charts and everything, and you just watch it, oh my God, it's entertainment. It's literal entertainment. Like, yeah, you're trading, you're locked in and everything, but I mean, you're still entertained. Either way. you know, Whether it's a good move or a bad move, it's entertained. The only thing we can do is just watch our risk. So I like they got me one and a half times. One time was kind of bad. The second time wasn't as bad. Stop losses. Stop losses. You know, especially when you have multiple contracts. That's the best way. So that's how I didn't get murdered yesterday. That Beyond Meat. Give me that meat. Give me all that meat. Pause. 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 I'm just saying, bro. Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Give me that meat. Yo, Beyond Meat hit like 200% last night. That shit double plus. First of all, I didn't buy shares until like, cause I got my contracts at like $7. I had like I think it was like 13, like 12 of them. I got them for like $7 each. Them Jones go up to 60, $55 each. I'm like, damn. So I sold, and I'm like, all right, they're gonna sell off. And then I got busy in the spy, and then I didn't look back. So I lost the freaking comeback on that thing. So I couldn't even come back to it. I was like, damn. But I did get some shares at like two something. At two something. 3403. You see, they're offsetting them. Offset, offset, offset. All those time frames. So we just gotta cut. We gotta just cut them a little bit, a little bit earlier. That's all. I cut them a little bit earlier, so yeah. What the fuck was that? I didn't like that. All about the data. All about the data. And now we gotta find when is Trump gonna talk today. He's gonna open up his fuck freaking mouth today. I do have to stop cussing. So if I do cuss, please reprimand me. Where are we here? 668. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Now I can see a squeeze here. I don't usually join these rallies and everything, but this looks legit. This looks legit. Not gonna lie. Let's put you here. And we're looking at some BYND. Now they open up new contracts. BYND. I. All right, got that in. Oh, this is dropping. So this is kind of good actually because I think we should maybe fall back to um print fill the gap, and then we might see some more rip. But this is something else. This is out of like technicals. So it's like we don't really know, what's going to happen, where it's going to split off to. But before this thing gets rocking, I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Definitely had to use the restroom. Definitely don't want to leave after this thing explodes. So, the SPY has a descending uh channel on the charts. Can we see pre-market? No, we can't see pre-market. So SPY is going down. It's going to be like a minor gap up. All right, so fix is going to be up. Is this down or up? That's down. I mean, that's up. You're gapping up. You're gapping up. You fix gapping up. You see, that's higher than that. This is higher than that. That's so weird. So weird. We can put the cues right there. What time is it? All right, 27. What is she talking about with Apple? Oops, oops. All right, let's look for some. This is always good. What time is it? 9:28. All right, we are getting ready. We can go over the notes shortly. Oh, didn't want this. And let's get ding ding. All right, lace up. Lace up your boots. Cause I'm about to. So much extra liquidity was offered in pre-market. All right, we're gonna keep our eye out on our Mag 7. SPY Mag 7. And we want Beyond Meat. We're gonna keep an eye on Beyond Meat down here. It's gonna be somewhere around here. Beyond Meat's gonna be somewhere around there. You say up, that's up. All right, we're about to start in like 30 seconds. All right, so let's get this thing started. Good luck, y'all. All right, there you go. 6170. It was hanging around like the 80s before. All right, but that's fine. All right, so Beyond is at 617 right now. Let's look at these other contracts. So more contracts opened up today. They went all the way up to $9 contracts. That's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. All right, big sell off. Big sell off on Beyond. Spy is dropping as well. Big drop on the Spy. Big red on the Spy. All right, so this is a big gap to fill. I mean, but this is a squeeze, so it can just squeeze. It doesn't even have to do that. It can just squeeze. All right, let me get these levels down. All right, so pre-market high on SPY we're at 672.59. So actually, I actually didn't even get to this point yet. So we can put in some contracts at this level right now. All right, and then we have these. All right, Beyond Meat at 580. Yeah, Beyond Meat is going to be very volatile. Very volatile. All right. Watch this real close. I'm gonna watch this real close. This contract. I picked up the $4 put on Beyond, and it's up hella right now. Yeah, I was waiting for this drop on Beyond Meat. All right, remember we want to keep these stops real tight today. Real tight with everything we do. We're gonna keep them tight. We're just gonna walk it down. We're just gonna walk it down. Beyond Me halted. Beyond Me halted. Beyond Me halted to the downside. Oh my god. This is what we're gonna go through today already. It's 9:35, bro. Chill. Oh my god. Oh my god. Already. No, I thought I got my SPY contract. No. Come on, pre-market. We seen a declining the whole time and we didn't make a play on this. Shoot. I didn't mark them. Shoot. Shoot. All right, everything is going red. Mm. They halted it. Dude, they caught so many people. They caught so many people. They better hope that thing freaking halt going up. That's insane. That's so incredible. It's still halted. 3-6. Okay, all right. All right, I got my levels. I got my watch contracts and everything. Pre-market high 672.59. Pre-market low 670. So that's really tight. Um, uh, SPY is still dropping. No, yo, this gonna be so ugly. I mean, like I knew to come in here and short it. You know, I mean, it can just go either way. You just gotta watch it. I caught it going down. I did put my put in. Yes, I still have my put. Yes, Beyond Me is still halted. Damn, is this thing gonna open up? What is it gonna open up at? Ugh, higher than 5 or lower than 5? Is anyone in chat higher than 5 or lower than 5? Yo, Savia, I don't hear audio. Hello? You don't hear me? Can you hear me? I feel like the market it's definitely going to drop today. All right, here we go. All right, so which name is still halted? BYND is still halted. The spy is making a turnaround. Do I have any spy place? I have no spy place. I have zero spy place. I have zero spy place. And that's kind of good. I would have gotten cucked right there. We're going to wait actually on spy. Oh, it's dropping. There we go. We're back. All right. Mm, there we go. I'm about to say this contract rate really isn't moving with that green. Because at least when it's going in a direction, it's like okay, like I know where we're going. But when it doesn't do anything, it's like you know. All right, so that's good. All right, so our puts are putting right now. Our puts are putting, and it looks like what's the name is actually. Oh, look at this! Look at the VIX. That's crazy. The fear is definitely ramping up. So much uncertainty in the market. That's why it's like how are we still down here like that? All right, so we're running back up. I mean, I sold my joint. I got this contract for 30 something bucks, and I just sold it. Well, I didn't just sell it. When I sold it, it was like around here for 60, like 60 something bucks. So, we definitely made some good profit right there. It's just that I didn't get like anything like multiple. I didn't get like anything great right there. So, like, that kind of sucks. How is this gaining value going up? That's so crazy. Beyond Meat halted again, halted to the upside. So they're not gonna let that shit do what it did yesterday. They gonna be on it today, boy. And look at this. Look at all this confusion with the SPY. This is why I didn't touch SPY. This is why I didn't want to touch SPY. You know, I need a lot more confirmation about like what's going on. I don't want to like try and predict the move. Do you have any ideas? Does anyone have any ideas on like what do you think is going to happen today? You know, I like to talk about, you know, like different moves and everything. So like what do you think is going to happen? Oh, you know what? As that was happening, my puts were going up. I don't know. That's confusing. That's confusing. We just gotta just pick up on what's happening and adjust. Get our Batman on. That's the Mag 7. Let's go to the Qs. Tesla, Apple, Netflix. There's the metals. All the metals are down. And that meat's down too. I put that meat in that metal. Let me understand these prices a little bit more. And that's the big guy. All right, that's the big guy. So right now, these guys are really doing something, but you know, we're gonna see. But even then, maybe we can. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. That's your counterpart. That's your counterpart. No, that's not your counterpart. But I like those numbers. Oh, so these are all doable. No, okay, okay. So that's the good thing. Those are all good numbers. So any one of those would be accessible. So all of these are going to definitely be in play right here. All those puts, I got those puts in play. Now here's where we're going to do the shopping. This is the shopping side right now. So it's not going to be as, but it's going to be on. It's this direction. What time is it? 9:44. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I tried muting the mic. Um, I hope I hope the hand device helped, but just in case the hand device didn't help, I tried covering my mic with my hand and everything, and also move my head to the side too. So I'm not that gross. I'm gross, just not that gross, or maybe just not gross in that way. All right, so pre-market, I think we've seen eight something actually. You know, we've seen a high right here, but pre-market we've seen like 844. Baby girl. Let me see your whole world. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, bestie. Dun, 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 dusty. SD. Mm, that put is putting. That put is putting. Okay. Beyond Meat unhalted, halted going up, unhalted down. The first time we were halted going down, we unhalted up. We are watching the SPY. You know, because there's going to be a breakout move that's going to happen. So you know what? Oh no, we wanna. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. So actually, we have to update our time frame because we had a couple time flips already, and we want to acknowledge it. We're in the 40 something, so we can. You see, that's not a high though. We opened at 71, so this was the first high. No, that's yeah. So that's low. So I'm just gonna put this here. We had a structure change at 46 going down. 46 going down. Actually, all right, going down. Then you can just watch this puppy. We got some meat. We got some meat on the bone. We have our stop loss already on. So if we hit our stop loss, we're still going to be in profit. We are playing tight today. Tight. We're going to hold it tight to the chest. This is a channel. But there's a lot of halting, unhalting, like it's a lot of shit going on right now with this John. So, messing with this right here can be detrimental to your health right now. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Good. Give me that meat. I guess I can make it tighter because it doesn't look like we're breaking that 50. So I'm actually going to move this stop up. Krispy Kreme is squeezing, apparently. It's just a good price. It seems like that's a really good price for this. So there's a good chance we can just take a downward move today. My puts put in, the puts are put in. As I open up my big fat mouth. Alright. Close to the chest. But you're not gonna really even be able to see it. When it happens, that's why you got to put them in because they can catch it electronically. You're not going to be able to catch it. Mm. It's looked like there's a wall up here. There's a sell wall up here. When they open up those other contracts, you see, the thing is with these options and everything, before it was a limited finite, there were a limited amount of places where you were able to put your money. When they opened up those other contracts, all got diluted. That's a form of dilution. Form of dilution. Adam Jones. Whoa. Give me that meat. Hey. Sheesh. 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 Hmm. Interesting. That's very interesting. Mm. This is lower highs. This is like legitimately lower highs. And it's just, that could be a flattening. We would see it would have to break this high. But that's even pre-market. What is this? How come it's like update, bro? Like, what are you doing? You just sitting there chilling and shit, bro. Everybody here working except for you. You just watching everybody else working shit, bro. Like, the fuck? Like, we on the same team, bro. Alright, 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 alright. Alright, so we can pull back to I was guessing maybe like $4, maybe 350. It's not going to be necessarily like pretty, but that's where we're going with it. I thought I got the spy. What happened to my alright, we're just gonna watch. So if anyone's watching right now, if anyone's locked in with me, how's your morning? What are you doing? What are you up to? What are you watching? You know what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm looking at Beyond. I'm looking to get in on Spy. You got my levels and everything. I like to share information. I don't believe information should be one-sided. Even if you are new to the market, there's things that you can do that can help you make a better decision and just make a better decision. You know, so there's a lot of things that you can do even if you're not participating in that particular trade or the market. You know, I want this room to be a like a trading room. Hmm. Look at that fake. Yo, what's going on with Krispy Kreme? GameStop want to enter the fray. GameStop wants to enter the battle. I mean, that Walmart news is legitimate news. Dominican Republic signed with Nvda. That's that's kind of good. Oh, Nvidia news. Mm. All of these calls are very expensive. Very expensive. Look at these premiums. Oh, you know what? Let me. Oh, there's like so many tactics that you can use when it comes to this stuff. And let me. That would be kind of safe. That's really safe. But then you're locking that up. I guess you're locking that up for that, but that's 2 more days. But this thing can just do anything. I just really wouldn't. Even if you buy an exercise, I don't necessarily like the idea or thought of that. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. You filthy animal. Absolutely filthy. Filthy. All right, so the thing about Beyond, it hit a lot of juice yesterday. They got new contracts today. They got the Walmart contract. It's like a big mix of things. They want it to feel like GME, but they want it to also have like security. So if it's a real move, you got the security. They want to make sure it's organic, cool. But you know, it's we're in a peculiar moment right now in the stock market because we're above evaluations when we're not supposed to. It was 885 in the pre-market. I thought it was 844. I seen 844. That's crazy. This trade could be done. It depends. Like if you called it on like Thursday, Friday, anytime before that, into now, you made a fortune. You made a you made an absolute fortune because I know what I made off my plays on Monday. And if I ate someone who got in on Thursday, Friday, they're extra euphoric. They went extra hard. So they hit their move and my lick. Mm. And this one. Fortunes were made. It's probably too late. Fortunes were made. Like literally, fortunes were made. You know, you could have entered with like $10 on Thursday or something like that. You got thousands of dollars right now. Thousands off of $10. Yeah, yeah. I bought cons for $10. I mean $7, and they all went over $70, $60. Like, and I sold them at 60, mid 60s and everything yesterday. I didn't get back in because I sold that, and I was like, damn, I want to get back in. Let me take a bite of my sandwich. I got my sandwich over there. Mm. Oklahom's dying. And I wanted to get back in those too, and I didn't. Beyond Meat 623. Hmm. 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 There's a spy. You see all this choppiness. I'm not trading that shit. I'm not trading that shit. I don't have to. I don't have to. You don't. You can't force me. Okay. If the chart looks ugly, I don't have to trade. Right? Mm, 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 mm-mm. They're not going to let retail win. Retail already won. If you were late to the party, you're late. Incredible. All right. I missed it. I missed the whole channel. Mm. Is this top of the range? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, this is real. This this is real. All right, so this is a real move. All right, so this is from all right, 10-10. Yep, that 10-10 reversal. Damn, that 10-10 reversal. Yep. Yep. Fuck, I missed it. Shoot, I missed it. That 10-10 reversal. Yep, you see that 10-10 right there? Going down. What happened yesterday around 10? Uh, lower day. New lower day. So we just kept going down. All right, so that was the follow through. That was a follow through. Shoot. Um. And we're gonna wait. Yep. There's a breakdown right there. Mm, this is picking up. This is picking up. This is the momentum. This is the momentum, and I'm missing all of it. So we're going to see where this is going to follow through at. But I did miss out on the beginning of that trade, the 10-10 reversal. We can see where we go. I could have just threw money out there, wasted money, but we are in a downward trajectory, even from pre-market and everything. So I think I can probably hold this position. I don't know. It's going to be a tight stop loss anyway, so it's not gonna go to zero before I do something. And that's the thing about day trading. People's like, oh, you lose like all your money or something. It's like, no, if you don't fucking do nothing. Beyond unhalted. Whoa. going for 7. So I'm locked in on we got push, rejection, consolidation, trying again. All rows are leading down. Lower, 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 lower. Here we go right here. All right, so we can see if we can catch this cycle. This is high day. This is high day. This was when, what time was this? This was 9:46. So this is 9:46 high day. 9:46. Yep, going down. Yep, high day. High of day. Let's put that number into 671, 671, 87. 137. All right, awesome. All right, so we got all this. We bought here, and we bought here. All right, so we're gonna take this channel down. So this is all right. Good, 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 goody, 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 goody. Hmm. See, so that's good. All right, so we're flushing right now. This is a good flush. All right, all right, we got that. All right, so now we just 670.25 structure change. Oh, SEC chair talking about Beyond Meat right now. So I guess this was a stop raid right here. They're looking at stop losses because they want to take it down more. It wants to go down lower. Wow, they're going to get rid of quarterly reports. That's crazy. That is kind of insane. All right, here we go. So this is exactly why we have to keep those stop losses, tight. But we want to watch. We do want to watch for the follow through. You can't get shaken up all the time. Like you got to trade. You got to trade. My 670. I have 667 puts and 669 puts. They're doing really good right now. I had time to do one add on. I didn't sell here, but I also didn't add on. Okay, to be fair. Now I should have added on when it was when we were coming back down through that. That would have been a good add on right there. But we are in here. All right, so I wanna. Yeah, this was a good trade. This was a really good trade. All right, I caught that. All right, awesome. So that's how you do that. That's awesome. Damn, I wish I would have bought another freaking one of that. Shoot. Oh. 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 This was such a perfect trade. It was so good. So good. Wow. So good of a trade. 100%. 101. That's crazy. That's crazy. The other one's about to hit 100, but at least I have multiple contracts there. Wow. Beyond Meat is ramping. Beyond Meat is really running. Really? I thought it was going to inverse like that. I knew it was going to inverse like that. You can only pay attention to one. Where you want to get paid? All right. I saw my big contract. If I can get back in, I'm going to get back in. Is that a lot of value? That's a lot of value. No, 8, 9. Okay, $18. All right, I lost $18 on that, but you know what? Let's get a new trade. No, we don't. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna sell one right here. So I'm selling. I sold everything pretty much at the top. I have one. I have one runner that I'm just gonna let run, and that's just gonna be my footnote. So if I do something else somewhere else, then I'm just going to do that. Um, I'm not touching Beyond Meat. I already, you know, made money yesterday with it going up and now going down. All right. All right, so I'm not gonna have. Well, I guess I can rebuy those. I can rebuy those if I want to. Oh, I freak. All right, all right. So we do have a runner. We're gonna let that runner run because that's what runners do. All right, awesome. So we caught that whole trade. Um, we're still in it. We're still managing it. We have a OG that we're running. We have some new kids on the block right now too. So we just run some money. And instead of having stop losses, I'm pretty much getting in, buying out, getting in, buying out, so I can, because yesterday was just abysmal. I got hit when I didn't have to get hit, when I got hit like so hard, like that's going to happen, yeah, but you want to make sure that you want to minimize how much money leaves your freaking pocket. Like that's huge. But let's continue to manage this so we can put all of our money in one direction. That's essentially, what you want to do. That was theta proof. We are flushing. All right, what is this? So is this add-on or is this still? All right, this dropped a couple bucks just now. This dropped $5. $5 and shit. All right, we're gonna rinse this. We're gonna repeat. We're gonna look for a next trade. Same thing. Are we contractless? All right, we're contractless. No, we're not. We're managing one position. right, so you know what? Let's not get caught up here. Let's come over here and take a look at this because now we can go shopping, maybe for some high shit. But you know what? Let's get this one on another. What was that then? Uh, over here, 674. No. Oh yes, 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 yes. How much is 674? Okay. Um. Okay, because if this is a bottom, if this is a bottom, we're here for it. So, um, let's put our little. So now we have a spread. Now we're gonna see which way we're gonna break on the spread, essentially, and we're breaking down, and we're breaking down more. Okay. 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 I like it. Okay, I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. Awesome. So that's how you do that. Okay, awesome. I can do. Oh, okay, that's This is actually kind of important because it's like, are they gonna? This is a key point. This is kind of key because this line right here, Hmm. Tesla 434. Ugh. What time is it? 10:40. 10:40. Wow, that was a good trade. That was a really good trade. That was a really good trade. Ugh. You got to be there and watch it. So this is consolidation right here. You know, it's going to do like a lot of shaky stuff, and this is why I didn't want to enter a new position because I didn't want to have to deal with the shakiness, the buy, the sell, the all this crap. I didn't want to have to deal with this. Wow, there's that follow through. So there's some other points too. We have a gap to be filled, 665. We have a gap to be filled at 665. It was a sweat, but I kept them. It was a sweat, not an easy sweat. What's wrong over here? That's keeping this market up. Mar- I'm about to say, I'm looking at all the Big Mac sevens. They all got big red candles going to the downside. There's no way I don't look at Spy, and Spy doesn't have a big candle going to the downside. I'm like, I'm like, there's no way. Okay, look at those contracts. Okay, yeah, those contracts really reflecting that too. Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the contracts. That was sick. All right, all right. So my levels today that I was looking at. There we go. That's what you get. That is what you get. I really hate to do that. I really hate to do that, but I am going to do that because we are dropping, but we don't know. We dropped like a good amount. We dropped like a really good amount. I don't know how much more we have to go. All right. Nice, nice, nice. All right, there we go. All right, if this is a bottom, well, we don't know. We don't know we're not gonna try and predict. We're just gonna manage and keep going. All right, now we're looking for a new trade. All right, we locked in profits. All right, we locked in profits. Moving on. Woo! Woo! All right. So I mean, this can still be a. All right. There's a lot to go, so they can V this up. If they V this, we want to be there for it, but you got to get in somewhere. So we got to pick a bottom. So we got to pick a bottom. What was pre-market levels? I didn't put them in right there. Are you freaking kidding me? Shoot. Shoot. 672. 672. Just 3 deviations. All right, we did a nice drop. We did a really nice drop. So we're going to see was that, what kind of move was that? Yeah, it's looking like a V. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. Oh, yeah, that's not gaining. It's just going to jump. Nah, it looks like we could be just Ving. We haven't done like a big V in a minute. Mm. Hmm. All right, now we gotta wait. It's look like it wants to grind up because we waterfall down. Let's take a look at the fix and everything. Uh, I don't know what that is. That's a huh. Mm, 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 Whoa! What? Whoa! What's in the news? Schwab's not gonna have anything, are they? Well, good thing we had calls. I bought my calls down here. If you're in chat, if no one's here, then like I'm not going to just like give call outs and everything because like no one's here and everything. But I mean, uh, maybe through my mumbling, you might hear me say something. But yeah, it's a lot of good ground to cover right there. A lot of good ground to cover. And that's how this is how I like to trade. I like to have nice, clean channels. All right, all right. We're trying to recover. 72. I mean, if I hit 72, that'd be nice. If we can hit 72, that'd be sick. It looks like, the dip is getting bought. Dip is getting bought. That's good. Good. The contract's looking real good. I grabbed contracts for today and tomorrow. I think it's the same strike. Same amount of contracts. No, one's a 74, someone's the 72. I wanted to have a runner going into tomorrow because I think we're hitting all this today. So Tesla don't like take us like over the top tomorrow. I don't know. So I mean, we still got a long day. It's not even 11. It's like 11 on the dot right now. The contracts are looking really good though. We got some meat on the bone. We got some really good meat on the bone, and we have multiple. So that's really good. And I'm looking up to where we can get to, and that's really good. All right. So if we can hit 672, I think maybe even 672.50, we are like we're looking like really good. We're looking stellar. Sheesh. I shouldn't have said anything. The freaking market. I think the Wall Street is listening. Come on, let me see some green so I can make my little mixed drink. What time is it? It's 11:01. All right, we're back to 670. That's really good. All right, that's really good. All right, that's okay. Okay. All right, so it'd be nice if we can get to 72. I mean, that's going to be hard. It's not like it's going to be easy. I mean, shit, we came all the way fucking down here like that. Like, because what it seems like they. All right, you know what? I think we can probably start scaling down. I want to hit my nut. All right, let's sell. Let's be semi-responsible. All right, I'm just trimming. We're just trimming. That's it. And just a trim, just a little off the top. Just a little off the top. Nothing crazy. All right? Like, don't take my hairline back, bro. You know, we want to hit our nut. We want to hit our nut. We don't want to get knifed out of nowhere. Look at that. Knife. 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 Just like that. I really don't want to get rid of those. Ooh, I could have managed that differently. No, take the money. Always take the money. Trade better tomorrow. That's a good thing about the stock market. You know, like you're not going to make all the money in one day. You're not going to make all the best trades in one day. But what you can do is what I like to do is journal. I don't need a big following. I'm on my own dick. I come back and I listen and I watch my video so I can go through the different trading processes, you know? So like this data, like, you know, it's that's not necessarily for like, you know, people. This is for me. This is for my growth. You know, if you're streaming and you're not going back to your data, like what are you doing? That's a data point. You know, I have a journal, a physical journal. I have a journal online that you see. They but they don't have the same notes, you know, but it's pretty much generally the same stuff. You know, data points. You know, I was able to figure out that Trump stuff with him talking because I have data. You know, right now all these companies making all this money because they take customer data. You know, people buy the data from phone companies. They buy data from electric companies. Like they buy that stuff because they want to know what the people are doing, what the people are thinking, you know, so they can make a more measured, critical move, you know? Well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going back to my data. I go back so I can, you know, figure out what happened at this time, where did I go wrong, where did I mess up? You know, it's all about you. You, you, you. It's all about you. No one else. Look at that. That volume slowed down a lot. Slowed down a whole lot. Look at that. But there's something to be said about a slow grind. Let's see if you see any structure change in these prices. Mm. 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 This going down is good because this is the fear and greed index. This goes down, that's good. This goes up, that's bad for the SPY. Both of these go down together, SPY goes up. Am I on two different time frames? No, why? How? How's the UVIX green, SPY green? Once this click red, this is already red. That's going to spike. Mm, We don't want to really see a divergence. Of course, the divergence is bad. A divergence is bad with these two, but these two in the same direction is is good whichever direction that is opposite. So if you want SPY to go down, you want UVIX and VIX to go up together. Because fear up. If you want SPY to go up, UVIX down, VIX down, fear down, no fear, less fear. And I really don't know what to call this in relation to this, except for that there is a relationship there. All right, this is picking up speed. All right, so we're going to take some of this off the table because we want to start messing with our profits. All right, because we had two structure changes so far, maybe three. You know, this is a test level. I really didn't want to realize that, but I had to realize it. All right, so we have another structure change going around right now, and I cannot get this contract. Are you kidding me? All right, we're waterfalling. All right, I am getting out of those contracts. Why is my phone acting stupid? You're making me lose dollars. All right, that was good. That wasn't bad. That wasn't as bad as what I thought it was gonna be. Um, all right, we're still green. We're very green. We still have powder. The trade of the day, of course, is the first is this guy right here. These right here was just we're just waiting, looking for a direction. And look, this didn't even start happening until 10:20. And that's when we get our structure change usually in between 10 o'clock and 10:30. So between 10 o'clock 10:30, always look for that structure change because that structure change is, of course, like that's the money. It's going to go either up or down. We don't know. We don't know. All right. I didn't get into this channel, so I am just watching. Look at that. That's nothing but a higher low. That's a higher low. That's a higher low. That is a higher low. We could go lower. At 11:07, we got the structure change. 11:07, 11. All right, we got another structure change right there. That was huge. That's huge right there. That's huge. It's hard to sweat that out. So even if we do keep going, higher, how is it that you bought down here and then like, oh well, I mean, I guess, but I said fuck that. I sold my shit up here. I sold my shit. I'm not gonna let all this money go just for it to shake out and then go lower or something like that. Like no, no. I want to get back. If I want to get back in, this is the channel, but they're not gonna. Uh, they can go higher. They can go up to like 672. You see, didn't break any of this. That's from this look right there. Almost the same level. What is this? They tapped that bitch. They tapped that bitch. That's down. I don't know. I think we go red for the day. For the day, we could go red. We have to break. I think that was it right there. That's 671. If we don't come higher than this high, then we're not going to get higher highs in this frame. We didn't gap that, so we'll gap up. That was a good channel. I mean, buy or sell. Like you don't know when you're gonna get the best. That best entry, is all about the entry. It's all about the entry. Because when you have better entry, you have so many options. That's why you come to Chuck for options, so you can learn about your options. Let me play some news. Because it's usually really quiet. All right, let's put this up and let's get our news.
Headcount earlier this year.
All right, there we
How
go.
much of that is then being made up for by using some of these AI tools?
Well, I think there's two different questions in there. Number one, we did do a restructuring earlier this year.
All right, Let's look for some news. Who's live? Schwab.
Shorter term trend line here. So when we were to also consider our moving averages, we have pushed above all three of our moving averages that we follow: yellow 21-day, orange 63-day, purple 252-day exponential moving averages. They are all coalescing together around 125 to 128 or so. So this is a notable area to clear as well. Could be supportive if the breakout holds, but we still, as I said, have to contend with 131 as resistance. Trending upward on the RSI, breaking above the 50 midline, invalidating our downward sloping red trend line. Momentum still improving here. Finally, if we were to look at our volume profile study, the nodes that are closest to the current activity are here and here, near about 120 and 135 or so, 133, maybe around that general area. So those could be some further congestion points to watch.
Yeah, and trading right below that resistance area you were highlighting right now at about 129.03. Now, coming
we are
back
in
to
such
you,
a
Don,
crazy
your
high-low
next one
range.
is Costco. I'll be curious here. I know you love a bearish play, but Costco typically performs really well as we head into holiday season. So are we bullish or bearish here?
I'm going to be bullish. This pains me a little bit. I've taken a lot of and substantiated a lot of bearish positions inside of Costco, and it's worked out. It's worked out very, very well. But in the very near term, a lot of people look at Costco, and if you're kind of zoomed in on the chart, you would probably see, well, it's some sell side activity, but
All right,
really
let's go
zoom
shopping.
out a bit, and what you actually have is range bound trade. And we've been kind of pinging back and forth a little bit. You're going to actually see that the 900 level, and again, I do believe we're going to be talking about the 900 level here momentarily, but that 900 level seems to be, maybe we've got a little bit of support in the near term. We're actually going to continue to kind of rally off of it. But yeah, the bottom
What are
line
you
is,
doing, Spy?
Costco, there's brand loyalty. We are coming into the holiday season. Same store sales have been continually spectacular. This is a tough one to want to
What are
fight
you doing?
against. I think we actually return in and around the 1,000 level, and that's exactly what my trade is going to be
Let's
designed
make a
for.
drink.
So the trade is
I'm gonna
designed
finally
for
make a drink.
seasonality effect.
Well, not a
I'm going to go
drink, not
all
an
the way out to the
alcoholic drink.
January
It's just
16th expiration.
a Red
So
Bull,
the January
and water
16th
ice. It's like
expiration
my
is going to
favorite.
include the entire Christmas season. I'm going to be buying a 990 call. Again, buying a 990 call, selling the 1,000 call. So it's just a $10 wide call spread purchased right up to the $1,000 strike. This one's done for a
What's he talking
$2.58
about?
debit. Seems like it's far off, but 1,000 has come around time and again in this range bound trade.
All right, Rick, so are we talking about that $900
So we
level
are
as
breaking
we
down.
look at the range-bound trade for Costco?
Yes, that definitely stood out to me. If you were to
So this
backtrack a
could
little
be
bit here, 900, about where we had lows here and here, a bit of a mess in this area too. But if you look at where things were closing, for the most part,
This
that was
could be
around where things were settling here.
direction right
A
here.
little bit higher there. It should be lower there for my circle. But 903.29, that was our recent lows there. That was another notable area where we hit a couple of stopping points there. We have since rallied somewhat here. We're still within the boundaries of this white channel that's pointing
just
to
wanna
the
play
upside
momentum,
here,
we can't.
but kind of a similar setup to
good.
our last stock
I
here.
don't know. It's looking good. I think we
965,
have
our double
confirmation.
top there has yet to be breached.
I think I have confirmation in a couple different places,
falling
actually.
wedge type shape to the upside
now
here.
we just gotta just
so
plan.
if we were to look at some of our other studies, they may help shed some light on what is happening here.
Just
A
want to
similar
go
breakout,
buy your
similar
ass.
clustered moving averages. In this case, though, the orange 63-day EMA is the closest. That comes in around 948. RSI is a bit more of a question mark in this case. We did break above the 50 midline here, but notice as well that our green trend line has been broken in this case here. So kind of shifting back and forth here. Look for further solidification and further pushes to the upside along with price. Ultimately, what you'd want to see if you were bullish would be a strong trend and the RSI pushing into the overbought area. Our volume profile study here, this is really the key area to watch. All our moving averages, all our trend lines, everything coming together, volume profile, point of control, all around 945. Things start to thin out below about 938 or so, and then they pick up again to the upside around 980 here.
That's money
So
made,
some
baby.
points to watch.
Okay, right
Woo!
now
That's
trading about
money made, baby.
93.75.
Oh,
And
wow.
taking a look year to date at their
I thought I
performance,
opened that trade
mostly
up like,
flat
I
on the year,
definitely
only
did open
trading
it
up a
like
little
late
under 4%. But
because,
let's move to
you're
this
supposed to
last
buy it
pick
up
here,
here,
Don.
but
It's
I mean,
Wells Fargo. We got their
geez,
earnings alongside some
this
of
is
the
what
other
you want to
banks. A
get in there
positive
before.
response from the street. But what's your
You
stance
want
on
to get
Wells
in there
Fargo?
before that level
Yeah,
right there.
positive response or not. Look, I think Wells
Wow.
Fargo, this
That
kind
was a
of
good level
resonates
right there.
big time with me because the entire marketplace kind of feels
That was
this
a
way, and that
really
is
good catch.
there's increased implied
That
volatility
was a
at or
really
near
good catch right
all-time
there.
highs.
Sheesh,
That's true
Chuck.
of the S&Ps.
Chuck it,
It's true
look.
of a significant amount of the banking sector, and it's especially true inside of Wells Fargo. So typically after
Oh,
something like
yeah.
Wells
Give me
Fargo
that.
would release
Give me
earnings,
that.
what we would
Open
normally
that. And
see is
I
the
just,
implied
well, just
volatility
actually,
drop
when
and
I was
drop
looking
quite
at it, the joint was
substantially.
like
In this particular
79.
case, yeah, implied vol
I'm
dropped
like,
a little bit
damn,
and
this
bid
joint was
right back up.
7.
So we have a situation
And
where,
my
again,
joint
the
was messing
underlying
up.
is sitting at or near an all-time
Yeah, I
high
didn't get it
with,
until
again,
80.
implied volatility portraying a
But that
completely
bitch is
different
at
picture.
a buck
As I said,
22 right
that
now. So
also, okay, resonates back to the S&P 500. It's a really wildly unusual time with markets at or near all-time high, implied volatility, okay, elevated. I think that is worth it unto itself to be able to take a bearish position. And that's going to be, again, specifically here inside of
and just like that.
WFC. I'm
That's how
going to
you
go
get
out to the
100%
December
and just
19th
like that.
expiration. I'm going to be buying an 80 put and selling a 75 put. Now it's a $5 wide put spread. This is a pretty significant and wide put spread, okay, for an underlying that is, well, quite a bit higher than that 80 level. We need it down to the 75 level. This trade, this $5 wide put spread, is trading for about a 95-cent debit. So it's a little bit of what we term like an out of the money shot. Nevertheless, in a marketplace with increased implied volatility, a lot of commotion in there. Okay, you're one X post, if you will, away from a marketplace that could be substantially lower, and that would be really found specific to the financials.
All right, Rick, so as we take a look at Wells Fargo, we're
Are we
trading
really going
pretty
lower?
close to all-time highs. We just talked about how we've got that implied risk at elevated levels. Do the technicals show us anything
I
the
don't want
market
to
should
sell
be
it yet
concerned about?
if I don't
Well,
have
I
to.
mean,
Shoot.
so what we have in this situation, this is our most
Shoot, I
different
don't want
chart
to
of our three
sell
bond
my
wick here.
sell
We had a
yet.
situation where
Shoot.
even though we broke above
All
these
right, I'm
old
about to go
highs
down.
here and here near 85, we kind of got
Come on,
stuck
book
here
it.
near 86,
Book it.
87. So we made intraday highs beyond
Come on,
those
book
old
it.
intraday highs and a higher close as well. But things kind of
Book.
fizzled out. We had this very large
Book,
bearish
just like that.
engulfing candle here with a
85%,
little bit of
just like
downside
that.
follow through, kind of rapid fire
In less
changes
than,
back
in
and
less than
forth,
what, a
but
minute, 2
ultimately
minutes,
still not making a
just like that.
significant push above these boundaries
Just like that.
here. So now we are potentially
Made a quick
falling
80
lower,
bucks.
kind of a triangular
Just like
shape
that.
here. This one's a
I
little bit
wish
harder
I would
to
have
find
jumped
because
on
it's so
more,
volatile here.
but my
the general
phone is
idea
messed
that I
up. I
saw
wish I
was
could
a
ring the
gap up
horn,
and
baby.
then a
Let's
consolidation
go.
phase, kind of a bull
Yo,
flag,
today
bull
has
pennant
been a
type of,
good freaking
characteristics
day.
here. Not exactly,
We've
of
been
course. These are kind of
locked
loose definitions
in.
here, but just
You
trying to describe
know,
the general
today was a good
behavior.
day. Has
So
been a
in this
really
case, we
good
can
day.
also see that
Really
the
extremely
RSI
good day.
is trending lower
You know, we still got
here.
some buying
We made,
power.
Lower highs on
I
the
mean,
RSI, even
so
as price made a higher
technically,
close. Bearish
technically,
divergence,
I don't like
slowing momentum.
trading
The pace of the gains is starting to wane a little bit. We can also see
the
that our
whole
moving
day,
averages,
you
though,
know,
price is still
because,
pretty
you know,
firmly above them. 21 EMA, our yellow line, is
how
the
much
closest,
money
just
do you want
below
to
the
make?
83
Of course, we want to make a
level.
lot, but
When
then
we
it's like,
do
how many mistakes,
include our
you know, because
volume
we're not
study here,
mistake free,
volume
you know.
profile, the heavy trading area is right here.
How many times did you see something,
very pronounced area
you know, you're
between
supposed to
about
go,
77
everything's
to
supposed to
80
go
or
as
so,
planned,
that's
but
the
it doesn't
supportive
because,
area
you
here.
know,
If you were
some Trump
interested in
shit, like
the
the fuck,
break-even
you know.
area here for Don's trade,
So
around
I'm just of the
79
mindset
right
nowadays,
here, and then that would
just
be
take the
looking
money,
to about
then go back to
75.
the
So
trade, you know,
basically,
get
kind of
better in
that
your
general
entries.
area would be the sweet
You
spot
know,
for
if
that
you
trade.
lose,
Plus one standard
not lose
deviation to the
300 bucks,
upside
but
if
if you
you're
say
interested
you
in
put
that area,
200 bucks
lining
into a
up very
trade,
closely with
that
those low
200 bucks
highs.
go up to
87
250, you
area
don't
seems like
sell.
the
Now it's
notable
going
resistance
down. You're
point.
like, fuck,
Yeah, and
you sell
Don's
at
area about
200, you
$10
get your money
below
back.
those all-time highs.
If
We
you're
saw
not
that you
day
just circled
trading,
of
you know, with a
87.47
fully
there.
funded
Right now,
account, you're
Wells
not getting that
Fargo
money back until
trading
tomorrow.
at 83.71.
So it's
So
like,
not too far off of those
the
levels
less
as
mistakes you
well. Don,
make
thanks for being with us for Big Three today and for those picks, Don
throughout the
Kaufman,
day,
and of course Rick Ducat, our lead market
the
technician. Thank you
more you
always
can
for
put
being
your money
here.
into the
And coming
strongest
up next, we're
trades,
going to
and
spotlight
then
Pega as the company is
that's what
rallying
I
to
tend to do
multi-year highs
now in lean on,
after its
because
latest
that first
earnings.
trade is
We'll be
definitely
joined by the
usually
company's
like the
COO
strongest
and
trade.
CFO to break down the
You know,
numbers
you're
next
going to
on
get some
Trading
chop
360.
before it, but that's going to be the trade. Everything else after that is going to be chopped. You're going to be able to find some. You're going to find some if you have the ranges and everything. But me personally, I 5. Usually I stream until 12. 9:30 until 12. Anything
Sometimes,
past 12, you really gotta have
you
like
could have done better.
some big plans, because it's theta,
Same goes
definitely
for where
theta.
you
You
invest.
always hear me talk about theta.
Level up
So
and
if you're
invest
watching this
smarter with
video,
Schwab.
or if you're watching it
Morning
in the
movers,
future or
be the first to
something,
find
and
out
you want
what's
to know
shaping
about this
early
stuff,
market
you
action.
definitely
Tech
have to
Check,
ask.
Options Corner,
Ask
Futures
live,
Focus, Technical Analysis. Morning movers
or
covers
send me
it
a message or
all.
something.
Grab your
But
coffee and tune in
I prefer
every
live.
trading day at
Definitely
8
ask
a.m.
live.
Eastern, only on Schwab Network.
I'm trying to get my channel up. Like, fuck.
Whether you're an experienced investor or just getting started, Charles Schwab offers a webcast that's
Because
right
anything you
for
want to
you.
do off channel,
The platforms
that's
and
going to be a
tools
charge.
webcasts are designed to help you
But
broaden
everything
your
on
knowledge
channel free.
of platform features
all
and
the info I
resources
got,
available from
everything's
Schwab.
free.
You'll
I'm
learn
just not going to
tips
put
and
all my
tricks to
crazy
help
notes out,
navigate
early enough so you can
Schwab.com,
just snipe my notes and then,
Thinkorswim, and mobile-based platforms.
take them and leave,
Best of all,
but
you can
I have
ask
good notes.
questions
This is
by chatting
Wednesday, the
directly with an
date,
education coach.
SPY. The
It's
only event
interactive
today was
learning at its finest.
BYND.
Tune in live or
SPY
watch on
pre-market
demand.
high,
Head over to
672.59.
schwab.com/coaching and start.
The low pre-market was 670.76. We're still within this box range. Yeah, we're like right in the heart of it. No, we're on the lower end of it, the upper lower end of it, of the box range right here. That's why that star is there. We don't. Our highs and lows are sort of fluctuating. We open at 671.99 today. These are the contracts I'm looking at. So the thing about the contracts is, different parts of the day, they're going to do something. So you have to watch. You have to watch. Just like I'm watching. So that's why all that signal calling and everything that people say that they do on like channels is like, yo, bro, you just can't do that. You can't, like, if you're there while making money yourself, like you just can't do that. So everything is free. Here's everything right here. This time thing is important. Important. You don't think so? Just pay attention. If you're paying attention, then you know. If you don't think that that time is relevant, 11 a.m. switch, that's, you see, I wasn't thinking about it or looking at it, but that, you see, that's key. That's huge. That's huge. This is huge too. That 10 a.m. Huge, that stuff. So it's like, you just you have to pay attention. You got to focus. There's like a lot of other stuff going on in the world. You know, um, you got to focus on your own trades. You got to focus on your own plate. And if you're actually trading, if you're yeah, it just crazy. Yeah, I get people want to be content creators. That's great. I'm not really a content creator. I'm here to make money. I'm here to make, I mean, you can make money the other way too, but it's like, you know, I'm not trying to make money from people from like views and shit. This is a big change right here. You know what? But we made really good money on that trade earlier. We could have actually killed it even better if I would have hit it on the top of that channel, but we missed the channel. Yeah, we missed that channel big time. What am I gonna do? All right, I'm just managing some stuff right now.
adoptions, how are they ranking things in an order of importance?
So there's really three dimensions that I think of. One is the dimension
but it's
of the
like
stability of
I
the
mean, like
application. That
98% of
includes
my
the
money,
modern
80-something percent of my
technology
money
that
right
they
there.
use.
Like,
It
wh-
ties into
why
security.
chance
It
that
ties into the
to go through this again?
interoperability with
You
other
know,
applications. So there's this
because if you think you're making it
modern
through this and
state
you
of the
good, and
application.
now you're
A
being tested
second
again.
one
This is a big
is
retest.
around
So now
the
you're pretty much
actual
back to where you started,
individual
if not
or the
worse.
process
You know,
that it's actually
take the money.
managing. So that could be
You know,
improving the experience of a
it's
consumer.
just
It could be
the
improving the
best way.
experience of an employee, of someone
I got advice
that is a
once.
partner, someone that's working in and
Do you
around
know the
those
best
systems.
way
And then
to
the
eat an
third
elephant?
one is how much of it is automated. How do you
The
drive
best way,
that
the best way to
automation
eat
and
an
that
elephant
repeatability? And that's really where
is
Gen AI has
one
helped
bite at a time.
accelerate the transformation of our clients. At the end of the day, what this all feeds into is a
One
better, more
bite at a time.
sustainable, more predictable, more secure,
You
more
know,
automated
you can't take a whole
management of the
bite of the
business and
elephant. A
experience with
lion
their
can't even do
customers.
that.
And you have some big name clients, Wells Fargo, Citi,
And now the thing that
Verizon,
blew my mind.
Cigna. I mean, companies everyone's familiar for. What differentiates Pega's platform from some of your competitors?
So there is no one in our space that can
Do you know?
manage the scale, transactions, and repeatability of those
Do you know the
brands
best
that you
way
just
to
mentioned. If you think about any of
eat a
those
whale?
clients that you mentioned, they have millions of clients. They have billions of interactions that happen
I'll let you think about it
globally
for a second.
through the course of a year. And they
A
need those
whale.
interactions to be
Think about the size
automated.
of a whale.
They need them to be predictable. They need them to be
What's the same
auditable.
way you
Those
eat
are
an
all
elephant?
important pieces of our
One bite at a
solution,
time,
and no one
day
in
by day.
the market can provide that at
Monday,
scale
Tuesday,
like we
Wednesday,
can,
Thursday,
which is
Friday.
why we've had such success over
Monday,
the
Tuesday,
multiple
Wednesday, Thursday,
decades of
Friday.
supporting, our
You
first
get
two
that whale, you get
clients.
that elephant.
Our
You'll
first two
eat it.
clients were Citi and Bank of America, and they're still clients today, and they've expanded their relationships materially over the 40 plus years that we've engaged with them. So when you think of a really hard problem
Patience.
with a lot of scale that needs to be automated and driven to be efficient, that's Pega.
All right, so you've had these
You
clients,
gotta have
long-term
patience.
clients, for decades now, and in that time, we've seen quite a bit of innovation. We've seen a lot of technological advances. How is Pega balancing this investment in innovation and continuing to update and upgrade itself with this push for stronger profitability?
So the one thing that we pride ourselves is, Pega's
All right, those puts are
tagline
putting.
is build for change. So over the course of our history, we've prided ourselves in being able to take the next technology
definitely putting.
innovation cycle, the next new thing, even operational challenges like moving to a recurring subscription model, moving to the cloud,
Every day I wanna
driving
get
the
better.
business to be rule of
I wanna
40.
get better and
We've
better
really
every day.
embraced that build for change mantra across the
I
entire
wanna be the
company.
world best
And I think that's
trader.
allowed us to be a decades-long leader in our space, but also change and evolve as the
We're tracking
market
down some
or the
more.
business environment has required that change.
Yeah,
And
those
Ken,
puts
as you build
I
for change,
measured
what
out.
opportunities do you see on the horizon?
They're really good.
I
Really good
think
puts.
that this is
Oh, no,
our
watch this.
moment at Pega to leverage Gen AI and our Pega Blueprint offering
They're really
to
good.
really help all of the companies
good.
out there trying
But
to
even
truly
then,
digitally
you
transform,
see,
really embrace this
that
legacy
was a move.
transformation, this
Look at that. Look
application
at that.
modernization, to modernize the technology stack that they have, move it to the cloud, make it more secure, make it easier to use, automate it, leverage Gen AI. This is our moment
That's the
where
measure.
I don't think we've had a time in our history of Pega where we've had such an opportunity to drive the value of changing the way the world builds software with Pega.
An exciting time. Ken, thank you for being with us to talk Pega and also your
Look
earnings.
at
Shares of
that.
Pega up right now,
Data,
just under 10%
data,
on the heels of those
data.
earnings. And that's Ken Stillwell, COO and CFO of Pega. And coming up next, we've got the disruptors. We'll take a look at Intuitive Surgical as shares are soaring today on strong earnings and guidance. Trading 360. We'll be right back.
Before that. Caught it before that. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Well, no, we put it in here. It didn't register. Using to 20. Sick. Sick, 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 sick. But then, interesting. We are in a lull moment right now.
Stay connected to the markets with Schwab Network. Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on SchwabNetwork.com and on all your favorite streaming services.
So usually, although I do get off early, I get off at 12, or if I do stream to like 4, I'll get off at like 4.
Or just getting started, Charles Schwab
But
offers a webcast
the
that's right for you.
big thing that I
like using
do
charts when
is
analyzing your
go
stocks?
back to
Our
the
technical
data.
analysis webcast series breaks down different charting techniques like trend analysis, price patterns, moving averages, oscillators, and much more. Best of all, you can ask questions directly to an education coach. It's interactive learning at its finest. Tune in live or on demand. Head over to schwab.com/coaching and start learning today.
I should probably put those levels back in. I'm gonna add the levels back in because they matter. They
Welcome
matter.
back to Trading 360. I'm Marley Caden
Wow.
here in our Chicago headquarters.
Wow.
Let's head out to the New York Stock
They
Exchange
matter.
for a check on the markets and welcome in
Interesting.
Nicole Petalides, host of Opening Bell and the Watch List. Good morning to you, Nicole. What are you watching today? I'm just looking at the board. A lot of red across the board on our indices, across most of the Mag 7 this morning. A bit of a rough day.
Look, I mean, we had back and forth action in the early going. Pressure is on a bit. The S&P 500 is now down about 0.5%. Had it been up, we would have set up 4 days in a row, but doesn't look like that at this moment. In the meantime, we continue to get in earnings, and names like Netflix and Texas Instruments are coming under pressure. And I know you're covering Intuitive Surgical shortly, and that's been the best performer on the S&P 500, up double digits because of earnings. So earnings are really driving some of the story stocks. There's still some optimism about President Trump and President Xi and the meeting in South Korea, potentially on the sidelines of the conference there, the summit there. So that is something that people are watching. We'll get that CPI print on Friday. And as far as some of the sectors, when you were talking about the pressure on, that's from tech and also industrials, which are each down about 1%. Some of the strength, though, there are some stronger pockets, which would be consumer staples and also healthcare and energy. So those are some of the big picture stories. Also, the fact that you saw the 10-year bond yield still below 4%.
But I called it, though. I
Refis
called it. It
jumped,
is
and
worth
that
it.
is
I
because
called
of
it
the lower
twice.
rates that we've been seeing. Marley?
And Nicole, I
called
want to jump
it
into
twice,
this
but when
GE
I called
Vernova
it,
conversation. We
just-
talked about GE
Oh,
Aerospace
that was that
yesterday.
chop?
Now we've got GE Vernova initially popping on their
think I called
report,
it
but
at
as
the
I'm looking
bottom.
at them
Nope, I
now,
called it.
down about 8%.
No,
Can you
that
walk us
wasn't
through
best
some of the
entry.
numbers and the reaction we're seeing?
Yeah,
Nope,
look, I mean, the
slippage.
big
Just a little bit of
picture
slippage.
here is there was some real bright
Little
spots
bit
within
of
this
slippage.
report, but with the AI trade
But
and the tech
I
trade,
topped it,
GE
though. I did
Vernova
top
lost
it.
some of the earlier
I bottomed
gains.
and topped
I mean,
it.
the era
So I
of
bottomed and
electricity
topped
investment
that
is just
whole
starting,
trade.
according to the
Awesome.
company. They did have a miss
Awesome.
on the earnings per share, but the revenue really
Awesome.
handily beat. In fact, beat
Bottom
the
and top
widest
ticked it.
ever
Awesome.
margin. So that was some good news there.
And I
the
also
CEO
did it over
has
here
been
too,
out. Scott
but I
Strazik
did
has
it over
been
here
talking
with
about
a
the
lot
growth
more weight.
trajectory of the company.
That first
and
trade
being
was a
really
lot of weight.
optimistic,
That was
accelerating
mad
growth
weight.
phase with more profitability. They're pretty much seeing profitability
Awesome.
in every business. They talked about big growth in turbine sales to the hyperscalers.
It's good to go. It's good to go back to the
big
contracts that you
picture here is
have
that they're
and
moving
like look at them.
a
You know,
new
look at
era
what
of
you did. Look at
electrification,
what.
and it's only the beginning. They said
You
sales and
know,
orders are looking strong. And
Look
so
at how it
while
worked.
the
The
earnings
good,
per
the
share came
good
in a little
ones, the
bit light,
bad
the other
ones.
weak
You know,
spot
look
was
at the
the wind
setup. Look how
story. Wind
look
power
how
margin
it's
was
breathing.
negative,
Look how
but
it was
less
breathing.
bad than it has been in the past. So that was an improvement. Margins for gas power were higher. Electrification margins were higher. And so they did see net income margins 4.5%. Revenue growth was 12%. The numbers were really good. And we did talk about GE Aerospace yesterday at record highs. This too has been a great stock over time. Over, let's say, year to date, up about 65%. I know it's been under some recent pressure, but certainly a lot of positive comments on the growth business ahead for this company from the CEO. So it sounds like all systems are go. Back to you.
Yeah, all systems seem to be a go. Their natural gas turbine backlog was of particular focus on that report. But like you said, pulling a little bit of a drag thanks to some other big AI players, down about 7.5% right now for GE Vernova. And thanks, Nicole, for breaking that down for us. That's Nicole Pedalidis. And it's time now for the disruptors. I want to welcome in Kevin Green, our senior markets correspondent. With today's company, Nicole just mentioned them. One of the ones performing well today, Intuitive Surgical,
snap.
rallying after its latest report. KG,
Whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, beating both on the top and bottom line here.
Whoa, where did that come from? Beyond Meat. Yo, my other puts just came out of nowhere. Yo, I opened that up a long time ago. Oh my God, Beyond Meat start dropping at 10:35.
Revenue did actually beat the street's expectations.
Whoa, bro, my contract is just insane right now. Wow.
Came in at $2.40 compared to the street's expectations of $1.99.
Wow, I only got
They saw growth around 20% on a year-over-year basis, and when you're looking at the systems placed, we did see
get out of here, more money. I went to go see how much I made today, and I was like, all right, bet.
Update their guidance as well. They were looking at the
and then the Jones is still going up. I'm like, I got other open contracts. What other open contracts do I got? Dude, I have fucking puts that I opened up earlier this morning because I was kind of
but it was able to once again kind of surprise the street when it came to the growth as well.
And they are
one thing to also note, obviously we are seeing a shift and an adjustment within the healthcare space
to the upside.
in general.
I mean, yeah, to the upside.
There's not that much of a belief that they're going to
prices?
really
What's my break
by
even?
any type of Medicare,
Oh
Medicaid
my
cuts
goodness.
or anything of that nature here. So that should be minimal, and they are seeing some headwinds when it comes to tariffs, but they are saying that's going to be across the board for all of their competitors as well. So even the playing field. Really good result here when it comes to Intuitive Surgical and this price move today.
We can sell one.
Certainly, trading up about 14%
take
right
care
now.
of
Also, I was really struck by some of those procedure growth numbers you mentioned. 52% up on its ion performance, which is what does lung biopsies for the company. Really impressive procedure numbers. But as we look at this, knowing it's trading up more than 14% right now, but year to date, even with that move, only up about 1.5%. How would you structure an example trade?
Yeah, so this was actually, I developed this example trade about 30 minutes ago here, just looking for a technical pullback within the stock.
Oh no! It halted.
But is it able to backfill that with volume?
It halted.
It's having a little bit of an issue. So this is actually a bearish
Cancel
trade.
that shit.
Looking at the October 31st expiry next
it halted.
Puts 7530
it halted. No. By the way, those are not the only contracts I have. I have other puts that I have like layered out too, like other places, like smaller prices. I was like, there's no way it's gonna hit this price, but just in case. There's no way it's gonna hit this price, but just in case, for my puts. So
with profit potential.
I have them spread out all this week because I'm just gonna do something like that. It's not gonna do all that running, especially after they added the contracts. Like if you tapped in earlier this morning, you would have heard my whole spiel about the contracts.
We appreciate you being with us for Disruptors today to talk Intuitive Surgical, their impressive report that they put out, and also that example trade. That's Kevin Green. And coming up next, it's time for our 360 round.
So right now they're at 280%. We're gonna see what this open up at. Dude, open up at like 2 something. All right, it's back.
That's next on Trading 360.
Oh no, they came up a little bit. We are.
Trading at
we lost some value.
Powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of Thinkorswim.
We lost.
The award-winning trading platforms.
We lost a little
Bring
bit
your trades
value.
into focus on Thinkorswim desktop with robust charting and analysis tools, including over 400 technical studies. Tailor the platforms to your unique needs with nearly endless customization, and track market trends with up-to-the-minute news and insights. Trade brilliantly with Schwab.
People can be getting out.
I'm Alex Coffey.
Nope,
and I'm Jenny Horn. This is Next Gen Investing, where we track the trends shaping tomorrow's markets.
From tech to energy, crypto to consumer, we focus on what's driving investor sentiment right now.
Clear analysis and forward-looking market coverage every trading day.
This is a make or break level for this stock.
That could certainly be a short
All right,
to
so
near-term catalyst.
although I sold that one took care of all principal right there. So the other two is
Dad,
profit,
I have a question for you.
not principal.
Sure.
But I mean,
When did
sheesh,
Granddad first start investing?
that
Granddad
kind
had
of
an account
sucks.
with Schwab before there were branches in
We
the
lost
area.
some value
He really
right
started
there.
with nothing. He worked hard, and after he
We
passed
lost some
away,
value right there,
the
but
torch
we
has been
still-
passed to me. And
still
my
made some
advisor,
really good money
Jennifer,
today.
she was with me with the journey,
made
helping
really,
with the
really,
estate
really, really good money
distribution,
today.
the two
We,
grandchildren, planning for
won
their college educations. Someday it'll be their
pretty much
turn.
all of our trades, so-
This is Fast Market, built for traders who want
You
more
had a
than
couple
just
of wrist
headlines.
slappers, but
We
you always
walk
need
you
a
through
wrist
trade
slapper.
ideas with
You know, you're not
structure,
gonna
risk
be right up,
management, and a focus on execution.
From options to earnings to volatility plays, we bring decades of trading experience.
Wow,
to every
wow, dude.
With
And when I
real-time
just looked at it, it was
insight across
halted.
products and sectors,
Ah,
we
I wish I
deliver
would have
with
caught
active trading
it.
speed to stay ahead. Fast Market weekdays
from my
at noon
corner.
Eastern, live on Schwab Network at
But I
schwabnetwork.com.
might just rock out with this. Look at Spy. What are you
Welcome back to Trading
doing?
360. I'm Marley Caden. It's time now for the 360 round. We'll bring in our panel to discuss Netflix and the future
didn't
of
come
streaming.
back
Joining us for the panel, Kenneth Leon, the
to
Global
this
Director
one.
of Industry and
To that
Equity
high.
Research at CFRA, and Stephen Kent, Media Director
Are
at
you going to attack
Consumer
this high?
Choice
Because one of these
Center.
highs
You know, Stephen, we'll start with
is
you.
going to do a
Just
bounce.
takeaways
It's
from
going to wedge
Netflix's
down
earnings
and then it's
also
going to
the
bounce.
street response that we're seeing
That's
today.
all it's doing right now, is wedging.
Yeah, we'll survive a 5.6 drop for this. We are looking at Netflix having massive growth over the past year. We've got just 40% alone in 2025. And since October 2024, this stock is up 61%. Everything is going fine in the world of streaming if you are an internet-only platform. The same cannot be said for a lot of the competitors who are really burdened and held down by having to manage cable properties on traditional cable
Yeah, I was about to
packages.
say HBO.
This is an exciting time for Netflix. They've got K-pop Demon
Wow.
Hunters right now taking
Sick.
over the entire world. It is basically their new Stranger Things. A cultural phenomenon is the kind of thing that any streaming platform is trying to create. So, it's still a good time to be in the streaming space.
And Kenneth, coming over to you, the surprise, the miss caught, I think, a lot of people off guard here. How big of an issue do you think this Brazil tax hit is? Is this just a temporary drag, or is this more indicative of a problem we could see impacting next quarter as well?
Well, it's great to be here. And the way they recorded it, it did affect revenues for the quarter. Nonetheless, we still saw 17% year-over-year revenue growth. I think the real issue with the results and really the earnings conference call was the lack of anything very, very positive for investors. Free cash flow was just below the prior guidance, nothing well above. And when you have a company this large that's going to be a mid-teen revenue grower, you need some other drivers really to enhance the opportunity for investors. So we downgraded the stock from strong buy to buy. We also lowered our target to 1,300. And I think the issue for sophisticated investors or traders is what valuation you're willing to spend for a company that really didn't hit anything out of the park yesterday. And we hope for mid-teen revenue growth. Margins look to be fine. You go into the fourth quarter for traders, it's a weaker quarter, mostly because there's an outsized spend on their production and programming costs. So overall, probably the stock may trade sideways, maybe for the rest of this year.
And Stephen, I'd love to get your thoughts on what Kenneth just said there. A little bit of differing opinions there on the performance for the quarter and going forward.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. I don't disagree with anything Kenneth said. This is a long game when you're talking about entertaining the world, as Ted Sarandos would put it. The competition that Netflix is in is untraditional. There's all this discussion going on about the Paramount Skydance bid that was rejected for Warner Brothers Discover, their second time going at that. And then there was discussion about whether or not Netflix was going to be swooping in to take over that space. Not going to happen. I mean, that's like SpaceX trying to make a bid on horse-drawn carriages. We are moving on into the world where you don't have that kind of baggage. So they are in a competition right now with the likes of YouTube. I'm really encouraged by this news from just the other week that they have a partnership in the works to roll out with Spotify for video podcasts. You know, I'm imagining right now a Netflix in 2026, 2027 that is algorithmically as smart as YouTube, serving up video content that people want to watch. They stay on the platform. And by the way, after they watch a TV show that they've really loved, then they can sit down and watch an episode of The Ringer, or they can watch the Rewatchables podcast. People normally binge a TV show and then they hop over to YouTube to watch analysis and discussion of the TV show they love. We're looking at a future where it could all be in one place. That's going to be very good for Netflix.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting time. Kenneth, I want to come to you to address this Warner Brothers conversation, this Warner Brothers Discovery potential sale. Do you, Netflix name obviously keeps coming up, but do you think that they're actually a viable potential suitor to buy either in full or some part of Warner Brothers Discovery?
Contract that I had.
Well, as I said last night, I mean, management will look at, you know, all deals, but there's risk along with opportunities. I agree with Stephen.
From
They're
one of
mostly an
the one of
organic
the
grower
trades,
that's
and
worked
it
well
like
for
the
2
account like
decades
spiked
plus.
like a
What's
motherfucker, and I'm
interesting
just trying to see
was Stephen's comment. If there was to be an
when,
acquisition or
what.
merger, I could see with Spotify, we have a buy in the stock. Ted Sarandos,
Well, it's
co-CEO of
11:53.
Netflix, is on the
I'm out
board
of
of
here.
directors of
I will
Spotify.
be on tomorrow,
Again, it's a pure
9:15.
100% global
It's gonna be Thursday.
streaming,
I'll give
in this
you an
case for
update
music,
on what's going on with this
with,
Beyond. I
you
have
know, light years ahead of
2. I think I
competition on
might
their
let go.
algorithmic
Ugh,
platform.
I might let
That to
one
me
go.
could be quite interesting.
I don't know. This could
Getting
be it
into
for Beyond. I
legacy
don't
and
know.
looking
We
to
don't know.
where they
We have to
are in
see.
developing streaming
Uh,
like Warner Brothers
Good luck with your
Discovery.
trading. Thank you for stopping by.
You
I
know,
hope to
again,
see
that's
everyone,
not really where
people
Netflix needs
more
to
often
be to
as the
compete
market
against
explains.
Google with
Comment
YouTube
and talk.
TV.
And Kenneth, staying with
Until
you
then,
here and
just the
piggybacking
flow.
off of what Stephen said about
I'm out.
Spotify, you know, they're going to bring those
Peace.
video
It was dope.
podcasts to Netflix in the U.S. starting next year. You know, how big of a move could that be in keeping people in the Netflix ecosystem?
Well, it's important because you're looking for additive drivers for revenue.